Oh, he loaded up. Mercedes tattoos it to center. It is gone.
Potential tying run at third, potential winning run at second. High drive, deep left. Grand slam! Bobby Witt Jr. wins it.
Now the 3-2. Fastball hit in the air. Right center field. Back to Celestino. He's out of room. We're out of here.
2-2 count, runner at third, bottom of the 10th. Here it comes. A swing and a fly ball, deep left field. Down the line it goes. Gordon in the corner. Gone!
Ladies and gentlemen, you saw that. You saw that intro. That means today was another loss for the Minnesota Twins. Heading into tonight's game, they were 60-54 on the season. 6 games above 500 for the first time since they started the year hot at 10-4. Now they dropped to 60-55. The Detroit Tigers move up to 50-63 on the year. As always, I'm your host, SKOL Joel, and I'm actually just noticing right now how nice the picture looks. I'm on a different computer. I got my own computer now. I was just using our family's computer, but now I got my own beautiful MacBook Pro, and it looks so nice. So I think the picture quality looks a lot more clear, and I do appreciate that. So with that said, I got a couple things to get into tonight. Obviously, it was a 6-0 loss. As you see, there were some couple bright spots. There were definitely some low spots, as well as I kept score per usual of tonight's game. But before we start, I do want to give a little bit of an update to you guys. If you did not see, I recently made a post on my community tab here on YouTube. I don't often post on the community tab, but when I do, make sure to take a look because it's always important information. I don't just spam you with boring crap. So with that said, I made a community post on Friday of last week, and I pretty much said, I know some of you have been around my channel for a long time. Back in the era, it used to be TTT_JDude dances. Then it transitioned into JDude. And as the time has gone on lately, you've probably noticed by now that I don't really call myself JDude anymore because I'm not JDude anymore. You can see right there on the banner, I'm SKOL Joel now. We are entering a new era of the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, if you did not see the community post, then you just heard it in my unveiling right there. Soon the channel name will be changing from JDude to SKOL Joel. When will that be? I don't have the answer for you. Be sure to keep up with the community tab as I will be kind of updating you guys on when that's coming. But it all does come down to when I get the channel art, the new banner, that done. But otherwise, yeah, I just wanted to let you all know. I mean, I'm moving into college in 9 days. I'm moving into college in 9 days, and that's a new chapter of my life. And just like it's a new chapter of my life, SKOL Joel Twins postgame show ain't going nowhere. In fact, it's only getting better. Maybe we're going to have guests on it. But we'll have to see when we get around to it. But like I said, new chapter of my life, but also new era of the channel. SKOL Joel is going to be the channel from now on, coming soon. So with that said, I think we are ready to get into this one. That was really the big update I had. Soul of the SKOL, I will still be on it. Of course, we filmed an episode last night. We filmed actually another episode as well that is set to unveil on Thursday before the Vikings preseason opener in Seattle. Also, we will be filming again next week, but I'm not going to disclose anything about that in case it doesn't all go through. But I do want to let you guys know that Soul of the SKOL will be recording hopefully one more in-person episode next week before we also move that one to an online format, kind of like this one is. Wait, well, there's only one of me, though, so I guess it doesn't work that way. But with that said, let's get into this one. I've got 3 main takeaways because the Twins scored 0 runs tonight. I never really explained this explicitly, but I will now. The official rule is going to be if the Twins score less than 3 runs, then I'm going to be going with 3 as the number for how many main takeaways I have. Normally, the number of main takeaways is based on the number of runs the team scores, but they had 0 tonight, so I decided to write up 3. And then, of course, I have some bonus notes at the end of the episode. So with that said, we are just going to get right into it. The first one I have is right here, and let me scroll. Not that one. That was the wrong banner. Let me scroll out across the bottom of the screen so you guys know where you are. Yes, there was some money. Sunny was pretty hot and cold tonight. There were some bright spots. There were some low spots, mostly bright spots. He did give up 3 runs, but I did appreciate the way he was pitching tonight. In fact, I never did a macro view of the AL Central, so I'll do it right now. Currently, the macro view of the AL Central is the Twins are 60-55. The Tigers are now 50-63. The Twins' loss tonight drops them to 5 games ahead of the Cleveland Guardians, pending the Guardians game tonight, though. It was 5.5 games, but I will currently actually get an update for you guys as we speak right now. So let's look at the scores. Currently, the Guardians, it was 1-0. It is still 1-0. Ooh, but the Blue Jays have 2 runners on with 2 outs in the top of the ninth. So I'm gonna keep posted on that one. I got it right. Never mind. Game's over. 1-0 final score. Cleveland Guardians win. Therefore, Twins are now dropping to 4.5 games ahead of the Cleveland Guardians. So, with that said, let's take a look at the pitching matchups, of course, since this first point involves pitching matchups. Sonny Gray was a starting pitcher for the Minnesota Twins tonight. Heading into the night, he was 5-4 on the year with an ERA of 3.18 and a whip of 1.24. He's going to be the losing pitcher, though, in tonight's game, so that's going to drop him down to 5-5. His last start came on Thursday in St. Louis. He pitched 7 innings, gave up 2 earned runs on 5 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts, and he did pick up the victory in that game. The opposing pitcher was Eduardo Rodriguez tonight for the Detroit Tigers. Coming into the game, he was 7-5. This will now move him to 8-5 as he picked up the victory. 2.96 ERA heading into the game with a whip of 1.05. His last start was last week, Wednesday, in Pittsburgh. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, 7 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and also he did pick up the victory. Coming into this game, the Twins had won 6 out of their past 7. They had won 5 in a row up until this one. So again, Sonny Gray tonight, his final line, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. 2 of them were earned. The one in the first inning was an unearned run since it was scored on a throwing error by Jorge Polanco. It was a pretty dumb error, and I'll probably talk about that later. He did give up 7 hits, no walks, 10 strikeouts, though, on 90 pitches. The strikeouts were kind of the big story tonight. He was throwing so well with his breaking ball, specifically his sweeper. He was just pitching so well, so many 2-strike counts, and he was able to get him to swing and miss. I believe every single strikeout, I'm pretty sure all 10 were swinging strikeouts. I don't remember any looking ones. But yeah, he pitched phenomenal tonight, in my opinion. Well, I wouldn't say phenomenal, but he did pitch very, very well tonight. And I get you can say what you want. He gave up 3 runs. He did give up 7 hits, but he was doing very well. That 10 strikeouts, it really stands out to me. No walks. In fact, I always listen to the radio. If you guys don't know, I do listen to the radio broadcast because I don't like Dick Bramer whatsoever. And on the radio, they said heading into the night, Sonny Gray hadn't given up a walk in 69 consecutive batters, and he faced 25 batters tonight and gave up no walks. Therefore, that moves up to 94. 94 straight batters since Sonny Gray has allowed a walk. So he's just been pitching well for the most part. He's been throwing strikes. Actually, he has been in a bit of a slump since the All-Star break, but he did have another good night tonight. So with that said, I think I can pretty much keep moving along here. Yeah, I mean, he had a brutal 4th inning, I believe it was. Let me take a look here on my score sheet here. Yeah, in the 4th inning, he gave up a single to kick it off to Miguel Cabrera. Then he gave up a single to Kerry Carpenter. Then he gave up a single to Javi Baez. And then he gave up a single to Zach McKinstry. So 4 straight hits to start off the inning against Sonny Gray for the Detroit Tigers. But then after that, McKinstry was picked off. Nick Maton struck out swinging, and then Jake Rogers grounded out to second base. So, brutal start. No, I shouldn't say that, actually. I said that wrong. Fantastic first 3 innings. I believe he had 7 strikeouts in the first 3 innings, if I remember correctly, before he did reach the speed bump in the 4th with the 4 straight hits to kick it off. But otherwise, he just pitched really well tonight. You may disagree with me on that, but man, in the 4th inning, they were able to figure out his breaking ball. They did get some hits off the fastball too, but it really was the breaking ball. But outside of that 4th inning, he was getting swings and misses left and right on that pitch, especially in 2-strike counts. So that was my main takeaway from the game, was that Sonny, outside of that 1 inning, he did pitch very well, in my personal opinion. So with that said, we are going to keep moving. The second main note that I have is that the Twins had an inability to pick up hits, especially when it mattered most. Tonight, the Minnesota Twins finished with... I actually didn't even total it. They finished with no hits. They finished with 6. No, I said that wrong. No runs on 6 hits. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runners left on base. Tigers committed no errors in the field. So there you go. So no runs on 6 hits, no errors, 7 runners left on base for the Twins. They just simply couldn't pick up hits tonight. In fact, I'll look through. I don't know really any players that had a multi-hit game outside of Carlos Correa, and I'm going to wait on Correa because I'm going to talk about him in actually a little bit here. So let's look here. Donovan Solano had a hit. Jorge Polanco had a hit. 2 hits from Correa, but I'll talk about him in a little bit again. I mean, let me just keep looking down here. Willie Castro had a double in the 9th inning. A single from Kyle Farmer. And that was it. So only one hitter with multiple hits in this game, and that was Carlos Correa. And I'm going to wait to talk about Correa since I'm actually going to get to him with my third point here. But the main thing I noticed was the Twins had runners in scoring position just 4 times tonight. They had it 3 times up until Willie Castro's leadoff double in the 9th inning. Tonight, the Twins batted 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. It was just brutal. Nothing to say other than that. The Detroit Tigers went 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position tonight as well. And it was really the opposite of last night's game. I was not watching last night's game, but I did look at the box score before this game to take a couple notes. Last night, the Twins had 9 runs on 12 hits. There was also 1 error committed by the Detroit field. Donovan Solano went 2 for 4. Carlos Correa went 2 for 3. Jordan Luplow went 3 for 5. And those were the players that had multiple hits in the game. Jeffers also had a 3-run home run. Correa had an RBI double and a 3-run home run as well. And yeah, so with that said, I think I can keep moving along. Really, the main point here is just that they couldn't pick up hits, only 7 hits in the whole game. But really, the key was that they were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and it was tough to watch. There were strikeouts, but really, they just couldn't get hits. Everywhere they hit, it was to a fielder. They hit fly balls, they hit ground balls, they hit everything but base hits. So it was pretty frustrating, but that does happen from time to time, and it's more frustrating looking at how good of a night they had at the plate last night. So with that said, we are going to keep moving. The third point I had is that Carlos Correa is actually hitting well right now. So his batting average isn't going to show it. None of that's going to show it since it's really only been kind of lately he's been batting well. But I took a couple notes here. Carlos Correa tonight went 2 for 3, I believe. He also drew a walk too, but let me confirm that. Yes, he hit a single in the 1st inning. He hit a single as well in the 3rd inning. Carlos Correa came up in the 6th inning and walked on full count. And then he also popped out to second base in his 4th plate appearance, which was the 8th inning. So that was not great, but other than that, he actually had a good night tonight. And like I said earlier, he had the home run last night. Carlos Correa had a 3-run home run last night as well as a 1 RBI double. He went 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored in, 4 runs batted in. So I thought about saying Carlos Correa is hitting better. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Let me change this. I'm calling in an audible, ladies and gentlemen. Carlos Correa is actually hitting better. I'm not going to say he's hitting well because we need to see this over a long, sustained period of time, and that's the one thing Carlos Correa currently can't do. At least this season. Same with last season too. He just can't hit consistently. He'll have breakout weeks sometimes, but he'll also just have brutal slumps, which we've just seen all too often this year. One of the other things I noted here that I'm about to share, we see him play so well in the field. He's got such a nice arm. He's got such a nice glove. He can do really anything when he's playing in the field. He can catch fly balls. He can catch ground balls. He can catch bouncers. He can do it all, but the one thing he can't do, at least not last year and this year, is hit consistently. So he's been in the MLB playing since 2015, and I wrote down his WAR every season since he started in 2015. If you don't know what WAR is, it's wins above replacement. It basically measures how much better your player is than an average player at that position would be. So pretty much how many wins does this player grant you over just throwing an average player in? And obviously, the higher number, the better. You don't want to ever be negative. Understandable. In 2015, he had a WAR of 4.1. Then it was 6, 6.3, 1.7, 2.9, 1.5. In 2021, it was 7.2, which is his career high. Last year, it was 5.4. And this year, it is just 0.9. So he's just such a good fielder, but it's brutal watching him hit. He just can't hit consistently on a game-to-game basis. And that's what's just so hard about watching him. And right now, I like having him bat in the top third of the order. But when he hits a slump again, I wouldn't mind if he dropped down low again so they could have guys like Eddie Julian and Donovan Solano hit up higher in the order, since they're just so much better at not necessarily making contact, even though, well, Correa is just the GOAT of hitting into double plays, but Correa can make contact, but he just can't get hits. And I think that's the big problem is that he can't find the outfield. He can't do any of that. So with that said, I think I can keep moving along. That sums that up. We're going to move into the bonus notes. I have 5 bonus notes for tonight's game. If you were watching this, good for you. 5 bonus notes. The first bonus note I had was there was a really bad strike zone behind the plate tonight. The home plate umpire was Nestor Ceja. He had a tough time being consistent with balls and strikes, especially on low pitches. He had some low pitches that were nice calls. He had some that, I shouldn't say they were nice calls. I should say he had some that were balls, but then he had the same pitch as a strike later. It was just a tough time, especially with the Twins hitters, but I'm definitely not counting out the Tigers hitters either, since it was a two-way street. But definitely for the Twins, they had a tough night knowing when to swing and when not to swing because of how inconsistent the strike zone was. And I noticed it during a couple different at-bats, but I'm not really going to point that out too much. So yeah, bad strike zone. The second note that I had is Joey Gallo. I'm sorry, Joey Gallo has to go. And he didn't do anything like atrocious tonight, but Joey Gallo's not eye-appealing to watch. Joey Gallo this year is currently batting. Somewhere I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? Give me a minute, everybody. I don't remember where on the sheet I wrote it. I wrote down his batting average. Oh, it's not there. 174. There it is. He's batting 174. Joey Gallo needs to go when Alex Kirilloff comes back from his injury. And I know, obviously, Kirilloff is on the IL right now, so there's really nothing they can do with Joey Gallo. But as soon as Kirilloff comes back, Gallo needs to hit the road. So many swings and misses, so many strikeouts. Tonight he did get a walk. I know he had 2 walks as well last night. In fact, we'll just kind of look into him. Joey Gallo came in the game during the 3rd inning when Donovan Solano went out with what looked like kind of a brutal injury. It looked really painful. I believe it was a right knee sprain, if I remember correctly in the radio broadcast. That's what they said. So he came in to pinch run in the 3rd inning. Then he did hit and drew a walk on full count in the 5th and struck out looking in the 8th inning. It's just hard to watch Joey Gallo hit. I'm sorry. He does hit a home run once in a blue moon, but I can't do with him. Alex Kirilloff needs to come back. So that was my second note. My third one is that Michael A. Taylor should also go too. And I know he's a great defensive outfielder. He's great in center field, but he can't hit the ball. His on-base percentage, I believe, is in the 200s, which is just not good at all. He went 0 for 3 tonight, flew out on the first pitch to right field in the 3rd inning. He came up again in the 5th inning and had an 11-pitch plate appearance, drove it all the way to full count, and then he struck out looking. And yeah, in the 7th inning, then he came up, drew a 6-pitch plate appearance, and then on full count, he struck out as well with a runner on first base. And there was also, actually, nope, never mind. There was only a runner on first base during that last plate appearance. So it was just hard to watch. Hard to watch Michael A. Taylor hit. He can't get on base. He does hit a home run, again, kind of like Gallo once in a blue moon, but I would rather them move Willie Castro out to center field and then make it work from there. I'd rather see Willie Castro become the center fielder for this team. Because Byron Buxton is not going to play center field. And it's a fact. This year, he's not playing center field. In his career, I don't know if Byron Buxton will ever play center field again. But at least not this year. He will not do it. So with that said, that was the 3rd bonus note I had. The 4th one out of 5 is Jordan Luplow. And that is, I actually like Jordan Luplow. I think he should play. Last night, Jordan Luplow went 3 for 5. He also had a double in last night's game. Tonight, Jordan Luplow was batting 4th as the designated hitter. He had 3 plate appearances. He went 0 for 2. He did reach on a walk on full count in the 1st inning. Then he lined out to short in the 3rd inning in a great play, actually, by Javier Baez. There was runners on 1st and 3rd with 2 outs, and he hit an absolute zinger right to short and a beautiful jumping catch by Javi Baez. So I do have to give him credit for that one. Then Jordan Luplow came up again in the 6th inning, and he flew out to center field. But so far, it showed that he's been batting .350 since he joined the Twins. Jordan Luplow in his career has not overall been a great batter, but lately he's been playing well, so I'm fine putting him in the lineup. He's been hitting the ball, and I don't have a problem with Jordan Luplow, so I'd keep him in if I was them. With that said, we're going to move into my fifth and final bonus note that I had, and that is a player by the name of Walker Jenkins. He was drafted 5th overall by the Minnesota Twins in their draft this past year, so the 2023 draft over the summer that took place in July. He's currently playing in the Florida Complex League. He's played 3 games. He's 6 for 13. He's got a grand slam, 2 doubles, and 5 RBIs. He is tearing it up so far, and I absolutely understand 3 games, 13 at bats, I should say. That is obviously a very, very small sample size, but he's playing really well. I mean, between Royce Lewis, between Brooks Lee, not even Royce Lewis, we've seen him play well in the major leagues, but Brooks Lee, he was drafted last year, 8th overall, and he's already gone from being drafted last year all the way up to AAA, and he might even be with the Minnesota Twins by the end of the year. That's how well Brooks Lee has been hitting, and Twins might have a logjam on the infield if Brooks Lee is called up this season. Either way, they will next year, but they would have even more this year too. But yeah, between Walker Jenkins, Brooks Lee, and Royce Lewis, I mean, those are kind of their main 3 infield prospects, and they've all been hitting really well. They've all been playing really well. So that about does it for my 5 bonus points there. And with that said, I think I can keep on moving. That is going to do it for tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen. You saw the 3 points. Money Sonny had a hot and cold night. They couldn't pick up clutch hits tonight. In fact, they batted 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And Carlos Correa has actually been hitting better as of late. Again, he went 2 for 3. Went 2 for 3 last night. He also went 2 for 3 tonight, as well as reached on a walk as well. So with that said, that is going to do it for tonight's stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, be sure to stay tuned, and there might be another one tomorrow, but I can't fully guarantee that one, but hopefully there will be. Also, if you want to be on the show, I might open it up to listeners, and I might be able to have listeners join coming up soon too. I'm thinking a lot about it, and with that said, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and as always, be sure to look out for the fact that the channel name will be changing from JDude to SKOL Joel coming soon as I can get a channel art and banner made. Also, I did change my channel description. You should all check that out too. I did change my channel description to update it more because it was kind of obsolete. So now it is rejuvenated and normal. So with that said, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys in the next SKOL Joel Twins post-game show. Have a good night, everybody. Peace out. And as always, well, not as always, because sometimes I root against the Twins because they're a dumb team. But for tonight, I will say, go Twins. Have a good night, everybody. I will see you guys. Let me throw it on the banners. Let me throw out the outro. Have a good night, you all.